Hi everybody. We have been doing a lot of sitting for the last 10 months. So a lot of us have gotten very tight lower backs, myself included. So I want to take you through a series of stretches that you can do. You don't have to do all of them. There are 10 stretches total. I'm going to take you through the series of stretches. Each stretch you want to hold minimum 20 seconds up to 60 seconds. And you can do anywhere from 1 to 3 sets depending on how much you feel like you need. You don't need any equipment. We're going to come down to the floor, so if you want to take a mat, that's fine. I'm going to kind of do a little description as we go through it, but not too much. So we're going to start with what's called the triangle pose. So your feet, you've got the front foot turned this direction, and your back foot is perpendicular to it. So you're like cutting your feet like a T. We're going to start with, it's an extended side angle pose. So you're going to bend this knee nice and deep, and you're going to reach down towards the floor. You can put a block here so that you're raised up if you feel like you can't stretch enough, but otherwise you can come all the way down to the floor, and you're going to hold here. If you want a little more of a neck stretch, you can turn and look up to the fingertips and hold that stretch 20 to 60 seconds. And then you'll come up, spin the foot, turn the other way, so now the T goes in the other direction. You're going to lean into that, bend into that front leg, hold, and then rotate. Fingers come down and side stretch all the way over if you can. So you can either be here, you can rotate if you want more of a neck stretch, look forward and take the arm overhead. We're going to come up, now we're going to go into a regular triangle pose. You're going to hold here, you're going to shift your weight forward, so keep both legs straight now. Shift your weight forward and tip, holding here, so your hand can either come to your shin, it can come down to your ankle. If you're a little more flexible, you can come all the way down to the floor and hold that nice big stretch there. And then come back up, and you'll repeat it on the other side. So your feet spin back to that original position, both legs straight, feet in a T perpendicular to each other, hands come out, slide over that front leg and take a stretch. So option 1 is here, option 2, option 3, and hold that stretch. Again, 20 to 60 seconds. Okay, then we're going to come up for a standing side stretch. So your feet are next to each other. They can even be a little bit further apart, so you're almost hip width apart. One hand up, grab the wrist with the other hand, give it a little tug up, and then lean out to the side. And again, you can hold that. If you start to rotate forward, you want to just pull that shoulder towards the back. So you get a nice big stretch through the side body, and then come up, switch sides, reach up, lean it out, and hold. Big stretch all the way through the side body on that. And come back up. Next one is called a gate pose. So I like to put a mat under my knee. One knee down, the other foot straight out to the side, so your instep is on the floor. You're gonna slide the hand down the leg and reach the other arm up and over to the side. Again, another big side body stretch, and hold. Good. And release it, and you'll switch to the other side. Again, I'm not holding these stretches as long as you should hold the stretches, and then take it up and over. Nice big side stretch. And then we're gonna go down to the floor. So we're gonna start with a seated lateral knee drop. So I'm gonna kind of sit at an angle. So come down, hands in a T on the floor, and you're gonna drop your knees to one side. If you can't make it all the way to the floor, that's fine. You could put a block, you could put a pillow, you could put a stacked blanket on the floor, and then come back to center. Drop laterally to the other side, come down to the floor. Not just make sure the opposite shoulder stays down on the floor. So I'm not warmed up so much right now. I would eventually make it down to the floor, but not quite yet. And then come back to center, and then repeat on the other side. Keep that belly in nice and tight. Drop down, off to the side, opposite shoulder stays on the floor. So you've got both shoulders down on the floor. The next one is a pelvic tilt. Set your feet back down on the floor, and you're going to tip the pelvis backwards. So it's like tipping the bucket backwards if you think of the pelvis as a bucket, and then come back to center. So you're pressing the lower back down into the floor. You're stretching the lower back, strengthening the abdominal muscles, and releasing. Do it again, pelvic tilt, tip, and then come back up. Okay, we're going to return to a seated position. And this time you're going to take one leg out to the side, one knee bent. Same idea as a side stretch. And if you can turn yourself a little, you'll get more of a stretch through the lower back. And hold that stretch. Big reach up and over. And then switch and go the other direction. Good. Reaching up and over. Again, if you're starting to roll forward, you want to pull that shoulder back and then lean out again. Good. The last two stretches are very similar to each other, but one is on the back if you want a little more floor support, and the other is a standard child's pose. So you're going to lay back, you're just going to hug your knees into the chest so your feet are together, and really pull the knees in so that you feel a nice stretch through the hip flexors. Again, hold about 20 to 60 seconds. You can take a little rock if that feels good on your back, and hold. And we can also do similar, but in a prone position. You're going to reach the fingertips out, tense your fingers, hips to heels, head down to the floor, and hold the stretch. Deep breath in, and exhale out. And you can walk your hands back. So you're going to want to repeat that series 1 to 3 times, and hopefully if you do that a couple times a week at least, you'll start to feel that lower back loosen up.